Okay, so here is the sign I've been working on earlier in my other video, and right now I have it in the water, and right now I'm just trying to get it all cleaned off. So what you want to do is you want to get soap in there. You want to really scrub it. I actually scrubbed it with my hands. Actually made sure like all the grime and dirt's off of it, and then at this point now what I'm going to do is, now that I have it pretty well scrubbed off, I'm going to go ahead and rinse it off. And I just put it underneath the water fountain and just scrub it with my hands underneath the hose. I do wash my hands really well with soap and water beforehand though, because if you have any oils on your hand that get onto this, just like in a car, when you're painting, any imperfections will cause fisheying, and it'll actually make it so that when the powder coating material melts, it'll actually fisheye out and make imperfections. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and clean it off. Okay, so now I have the sign all clean. I'm trying to touch as little as I can with my hands here. It's all been rinsed off. At this point, what we're going to do now is going to go and stick it in the oven here that I have. Great little tabletop oven, does great for little powder coating jobs. I'm going to go ahead and stick it right on top. And I'm going to turn it to convection and temperature. I'm going to turn it to, got some dust on it. I'm going to turn the temperature to 200. I'm just going to turn it to an arbitrary number. And what this is going to do, it's going to fully dry the sign, because I noticed, well, number one, you want the water to be completely gone. You want no water at all in the sign, even under a little crevice, like where there is a little bit of melting, because he probably used some kind of plasma cutter to cut this. If there's water underneath that edge on the plasma cutter, if it's rolled over and there's water in there, and then you powder coat, when that water starts to boil away, it's going to cause problems with the powder coating as well. So from here on out, I'm also going to only use rubber gloves to powder coat, or to touch the sign, and when I'm powder coating, because your hands secrete oil continuously and you don't want any of that on your powder when you're powder coat. So, alright, going to give this a few minutes and then get back to it. Okay, so now for the fun part, we've got this all hooked up. It's suspended by wires. I use a V shape because it makes as little contact as possible, so you get the most powder coating you can. And then even underneath, see if you can see it, underneath there's actually a loop, so powder coating will fit underneath that loop as well. So I have it positioned so that I can do the front, and I can flip this around. I can even get the back a little bit too. So it's pretty simple. Basically, try and do two things at once here. Basically, just hold the button down. I'm using an Eastwood Powder Coating gun. Pretty basic. I'm set at about 10 psi. It's pretty rough. If you're actually really good at this, like a pro, you'd actually use an inline regulator, but I do not have that. So what I do is just hold the button down, and then you can see goes right on. Alright, we'll be back in just a second. I'll show you the rest of it. Okay, so now we have the finished powder coating. I've done all the powder coating we need to, so it's all red. I've taken the electrode off, and my oven is preheated to 450. I use Eastwood, the powder coating powders from them. I always check with a flashlight underneath. I know it's really bright here, but there we go. You can always get a good sense of powder coating and how thick your layer is if you use a flashlight. And so this one's pretty even coverage. Again, like I said, using this particular system works well. Very basic, very beginner, but I powder coated actually quite a bit of stuff with it, and it has done very well for me. So, especially a lot of bike parts. Alright, gonna go ahead and throw this in the oven for 20 minutes, and we'll see what comes out. Alright, what we've done now is I'm waiting for what's called flow out, and that basically means all the powder coating is melted. So we've actually reached flow out now all the way through. You can see it's all very wet, very shiny looking. That's good. That means all the powder coating has melted. Now we're going to go ahead and turn the oven down to 400 degrees. And I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 20 minutes. And that's it. And we'll see what comes out of this guy once we're done with that. Okay, so timer's done. So now what I like to do is I like to let the powder coating cool down because you don't want to touch or anything. So what I do is I just leave it open, and I just let the basically just let the air escape and let it cool off. And so far it's looking pretty good, so I'm pretty excited about this. We'll go ahead and take it out here in about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes once it's cooled down, and then we can see how it looks. Oh yeah, what I'll do is sometimes I'll go ahead and grab the edge here and just pull this out so it can cool. I think it did pretty good. There we go. Okay. And we will come back. Check that out again in a minute. Okay. Okay, so here's the sign all finished. It turned out pretty well. There's a couple things I'm not super happy with, but overall it's pretty good. So I'm going to pan the light here on the side, and you can see it's just a little bit rough. Not too bad, just a little bit. You can't even feel it. It feels flat, but that's from probably not quite enough powder on that particular area. So probably there's not quite enough there, but overall pretty good. Panning this way, not too bad. Again, the same thing. Actually looks worse on the phone, but and then when you come down here, let's see, right about there in this corner, you can see it looks really smooth. It's pretty smooth in this corner here. That's what you want right there. So, but overall, pretty good. Turned out really well. Very durable as far as the material goes. So, let's get the camera focused. There we go. So pretty good. Back's all done too. Looks great. It's gonna look great on my door. So, thanks to Jonathan, my brother, for getting me an awesome sign. And that's pretty much it. Alright guys, start to finish, a little bit of a powder coating project there, so thanks.